Well, bend me over and call me Sally. November already. How'd that happen? Right, let's get into the debrief. Right, so debrief. We are talking Tuesday the 28th of October to Friday the 31st of October. Being recorded on Saturday the 1st of November. Yeah, let's go for our week. We've had well, I'd say interesting, not quite as full on as I was hoping, but there we go. So we started on Tuesday. I had Monday off because I was supposed to take my car in for an MOT, but I didn't get the job done that I needed. I'll go through a little bit of that with you in a bit. Once we've done the main debrief part. So I couldn't get what I needed to get done, but because that was like late in the day on Saturday, my boss then couldn't get me any work for Monday, so I still had the day off, so it wasn't no big issue. Just meant I had a day off. Great. So yeah, had Monday off. Great stuff. So we started on Tuesday at 5 a.m. We run from the yard with the step frame trailer loaded with some massive steel frame things up to Telford. Once that was unloaded, we then run to Skelmersdale to load more steel. And then we run down to Tewkesbury for the night, parked up. We finished at 6 p.m, so we done 419 miles. We worked 13 hours on the button, and we drove 9 hours and 11 minutes. Not a lot, really. Annoyingly, because we were only an hour away from the 9 o'clock start solar site, we didn't start until 7:45 on the Wednesday. So we run from Tewkesbury down to Brackley to the solar site, got that off. Once that was off, we then run to a farm in Cheddar, in the Great DPRC, to load a backhoe. Not driven a backhoe before. Still haven't driven a backhoe, because, yeah, we were having problems with it, but that's all going to be in a video in December at some point. But we did finally get it started and loaded. Once that was on, run to Yeovil, drop that off, and we run all the way to Newton Abbot to load more of them steel frames that we took up on Tuesday. We dropped the trailer inside the customer and we parked outside the yard at 5:15 p.m. because the people that load us, or that drove the telehandler to load them because they're quite large, they go home at 4:30, so there was no one there to load me, so parked up early, which was annoying. So we only worked 9.5 hours that day. We drove 5 hours and 6 minutes, and we done 182 miles, which was annoying. Got super glue all over my fingertips. I was gluing some bits and pieces together for Elaine, and luckily I didn't end up with my fingers glued to my face. There we go. So on Thursday we started at 8 a.m. Drove into the customer from outside the yard to hitch up to the trailer, strap the load down, run them frames all the way up to Telford, got them off, then we run to Skelmersdale, bit of a theme here, you see, to load more steel work. Got loaded, parked up in their yard for the night, finished at 7:15 p.m. Could have gone a lot further down the road, but then you're getting into the realms of, well, the M6 was quite knackered that night, so didn't want to sit in traffic all night and not get anywhere decent to park up. I mean, I could have run till 11 o'clock that night, but then you're getting in the realms of not being able to find anywhere to park because everywhere's full. So yeah, we finished at 7:15 p.m. We worked 11 hours 15 minutes. We drove 6 hours 54 minutes, and we done 275 miles. Very, very low on hours this week, what I like. And then Friday rolls around, 5 a.m. start, run from Skelmersdale all the way down to Rings Yard in Avonmouth to drop off the trailer I loaded, then hitch up to an empty curtain sider that was there, one of ours. Then run to Newport to go collect tanks. We were told they were empty tanks, and it turns out they were full. 2 diesel tanks and 1 AdBlue tank. So, no ADR, so couldn't take the diesel, so the diesel were left, so we took the AdBlue instead. I think you're allowed to take limited quantities of 1,000 litres or something, but we left it for good measure. So we took the AdBlue, so AdBlue doesn't actually come under as ADR because it's not hazardous load, so we've loaded that on the trailer, and that's now on my trailer ready for Monday. So we run that all the way back to the yard, parked up, 3:30 p.m. because I needed to finish early yesterday because we had a little Halloween party. Yes. Yeah, lovely stuff. Worked 10.5 hours. My truck also went in for inspection as well. We drove 7 hours 11 minutes and we done 298 miles. So our weekly totals are very low compared to what they normally are. Crap in my eye as well. Not super glue, luckily. So we put in 624.94 litres of fuel. We done 1,174 miles, and we done 44 hours and 15 minutes work, which is not a lot, but then we will get holiday pay on that, so it'll bump it up to about 55-ish hours. So yeah, quite a quiet week. It's just unfortunate it falls that I end up outside customers that don't start until a certain time, which obviously is quite frustrating, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is indeed what it is. So obviously I said about my car, we're going in for the MOT. So this morning I've actually been out working on the car. As you can see, I've got stuff all over my hands from yeah, I'll explain that, especially up there, look. Got a rash on my hand as well. So the lower lateral link arm on the rear of the rear suspension had to be replaced because the ball joint was broken. Well, the ball joint was broken, but the rubber grommet on it was broken that was then letting grease out, so I had to replace it. But the bolt that goes through the back was corroded into the sleeve, so I could not get that out. So this morning I wasn't given it a choice. It was coming out with the help of my friend Mr. Angle Grinder. So I spent half the morning grinding loads of metal out the bottom of my car. Got a rash on my hand from where all the filings were hitting my hand and that, because I need to get some more mechanics gloves. Yeah, so that was fun. And then all the black bits of my hands are all melted rubber from the bush I had to cut through. That's all now like impregnated into my skin. So yeah, I tried scrubbing it, but it won't come off. Yeah, so done that. Cut that out. Took 5 minutes to put all the new bits back on. Car's good now. I just got to rebook it in for another MOT. So yeah, there's that. So that's what I've been doing this morning. Anyway, we will get on to our next little segment, which is viewers' questions. If you would like to ask me a question, if you would like to ask Elaine a question for next week, leave it in the comments below. You can ask her anything, but ask her what it's like to be like a partner with a truck driver. We're not married, so she's not my wife yet. It is going to happen at some point, but yeah, go away, ask Elaine a question, whatever you want. Ask her anything about me, what she thinks, just ask her whatever you want, and I'll get her to answer it for you next week. It's not going to be a live, it's just going to be a normal video like this one, so yeah, I'll probably get her in for a live at the end of the year after Christmas and that, so there is that. So, yes, leave it in the comments below and I will get her to answer whatever you ask. Let's get on to this week's questions. We got 3 questions this week, not many, so quite a quiet week for questions. So, question number 1 from Kevin Sallows asks, is Sam K doing any more videos? Yes, he is. He is getting a bit of a backlog up. He's started doing some filming. He has got into a situation in his job where there's certain places he's not allowed to film and that, so it does make it awkward, and obviously has a young child now, so that makes it a bit more awkward, but he is filming, he has got some stuff ready to go, he's just waiting to build up a little bit before then he starts releasing, so watch this space, and Sam K will be putting more videos out in the near future, I reckon. I don't know exactly when, but he is going to be doing it, so yeah, Sam K will be releasing more videos soon. Question number 2 from Mr. Scott Starmer. He asks, what truck did they nick the lights out? And how did they do it? And did you feel anything? So this is on M555. On the front grille, there's 2 LED lights on that truck. And they nicked them. All they did was undo the screws on the front of them, pull them out, snip the wires and walk off. And that was it. I did not hear a thing, did not feel a thing. Quiet as anything. So, yeah. They must have had real good screwdriver on that to get it out. Nah, it's just one of them things. Just unfortunate where you park sometimes that you do get thieving people. At the end of the day, something like that I would put down to being another driver for their own truck. But then lights like that for a truck aren't cheap, so people will sell them on, I mean, they're not the most expensive lights in the world, but someone to get 10 quid for them. There we go. So, yep, unfortunate, but it happens. And question number 3 from Paul Burridge asks, he says, love the debriefs and thoroughly enjoy the live stream, which is what I done last week, although I only saw it on record, so yeah, you didn't watch it live, you just watched it after it went up. So he says, if you could only play one game or perhaps a genre, what would it be? be fair, if I was given the choice of only allowed one game to play for the rest of my life, I'd probably play Minecraft. I haven't played it for a little bit, but it's a game I keep going back to, and I do enjoy it. It's like playing Lego. It really is. It just seems to. It's the survival aspect and the building up from nothing that I enjoy. First games I sort of started playing like that were like Theme Hospital and Theme Park. Well, the original Theme Park, obviously from like '94 or whatever. Playing that, it's all the whole starting with nothing and then building up to this great big enterprise that you have or something like that. It's where it tickles my fancy with Euro Truck Simulator, because you start from nothing and you build your way up to having a big truck company, or like other games like that as well. But stuff like Minecraft as well, you start with literally nothing and then you just build and build and build and build. Oh, there we go, I've finished sneezing now. Yeah, so it's anything like that really. If it was stick to one genre of game, then probably survival. There's another game I like playing which is called 7 Days to Die, which is a zombie survival game. And every 7 days you get a massive horde of zombies. You have zombies to deal with all the time, but then if you have like a main base, and that all the zombies will attack you after 7 days. It's a good fun game, and again, it's a case of starting with nothing and building your way up to having everything. So that sort of stuff really tickles my fancy. Anything like that, really. But yeah, if it was just one game, Minecraft. Love it. So yeah, that's the 3 questions I had. Again, if you want to ask Elaine anything next week, then leave it in the comments of this video below. So ask away. The more the merrier. So next little segment is Car of the Week. So this week I did see a very nice Aston Martin. What type of Aston Martin it was, I don't know, but it sounded great. But my Car of the Week this week is a Peugeot 205 GTI. But not just any 205 GTI, no. This one was an MI16, which I believe is never a factory option, but I believe people used to convert the 2-litre engine out of the 405 SRI or MI16. And they used to transplant that engine into the 205 because it had a lot more power. And then people then on the little bit of trim at the back would then replace the GTI badge with the MI16 badge so people knew what was in it. And it was a very common conversion. So yeah, it was very nice to see a 205 with that MI16 badge on it. It was, like I said, it was a thing you used to see a lot back in the early 90s, or probably even the mid 90s. But no, very, very nice little thing. Car did look a little bit ropey, but nah, it was, yeah, so it's obviously got a bit of boot in it if it's got a 2-litre from a 405 in it. So very nice to see that. We'll get on to the next little bit now, which is mayhem on the roads. We didn't have anything too major this week. There was the M5 was shut on Thursday, which was a bit of a pain up near Worcester. So I just chipped off at Worcester and then went through Kidderminster and head up to Telford that way. A little bit of a rubbish road to travel, but we managed. And then had quite a lot of cars overtaking and then pulling in front of me and slowing down. And then there was also quite a few people that were sort of like, as I'm overtaking them, they'd then speed up and then pull away. It's like, there was one idiot in a UPS van that I pulled out to overtake a truck near a slip road. So of course I went forward, and then this UPS truck come out from the slip road, so I stayed out in lane 2. And then he just matched my speed and sat next to me for the next 2 miles. and it was until we met something that was slower. You know, he could have slowed down and let me go, or I guess I could have slowed down and let him go, but I'm already out, so if he's come off a slip road, why didn't he just, like, not accelerate for a little bit, let me get on and pull in front of him? Yeah. But he literally sat me out there until we caught up with someone slower that then slowed him down, so I could then get on my way and move back over again. Quite frustrating, but probably the most silly thing I've seen this week was when I parked up at Magor Services on Friday, heading back towards the yard. There was I don't think it was a tip. I think it was a blower truck. So obviously like an 8-wheel tipper, but it's got a blower truck on the back for like feed and whatever. This guy jumps out of his truck, and then I was walking back to my truck, but I'd stopped walking because there was an Arctic tanker reversing into a space. So of course this tipper driver or blower driver jumps out of his truck and just walks straight across the back of this Arctic that's trying to reverse into a space. And I'm like, are you trying to get yourself run over? Why would you do that? The Arctic was at an angle, Luckily, it was on the driver's good side, so he could see. But he wouldn't have seen the guy until he popped out from the other end of his trailer. You know, on the nearest to the driver. He wouldn't have seen him at all. He could have run him over and squashed him and not known about it until he straightened up. And it's like, why would you walk across the back of a reversing truck? You know, he's got beepers going, he's got his hazard lights on, and you do that. You deserve to get run over at that point. You know, don't be stupid, people. Come on, just wait 2 seconds. You know, he looked like he was a hungry man, so, you know, but I'm sure he could have waited a few more minutes to go and get his McDonald's. You know, I waited a couple of minutes to go back in my truck to eat my noodles, so there you go. That was that. So we will get on to the last little bit, which is our comment of the week. And right up until this morning, it was going to be some knobhead called Alan that seems to don't seem to understand that people like to have nice things in their trucks to make it a bit more homely, and doesn't understand the fact that UK truck drivers have a nameplate in the window because it's called camaraderie. He seems to think that's a weird thing. He's like, why would you want people to know your name? So it's not, it's a nickname, and it's just a fun thing to do. You know, grow up, mate. But this morning I had a comment come through from the Captain's blog. He obviously has a channel, I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to check out for it in a minute because he's got like 4,000 subscribers. But the Captain's blog says, this is on last week's video, I mentioned about the fact that at the end of the day, my job is just a job for me to earn money. And he says, it was interesting when you spoke of not doing this job for enjoyment, practically about money at the end of the day. As a driver who has only been passed since May, I find this mentality a bit odd, to be honest. I came to this job because I was bored and more stressed with office corporate work. This work is rewarding far more with no stress. You get told where to go, you go, collect, deliver, and go on to the next place. You need to. But I always do the least work possible for the return. Never would I want to push my hours or chase pounds, as then it would become a chore, and the reason for doing it would just be those pounds. And the moment that happens to me, it would be time to move on to a new career. And that's fair enough. That's very much fair enough. Don't get me wrong. I love my job. I love what I do. I very much enjoy it. And I because I'm out on the road and I'm away from home all week, I might as well push my hours, because the more I'm out, the more I earn. I don't do the job for the fun of it. You know, I wouldn't do it for free. So, at the end of the day, it is ultimately about money. I don't work for free, and I got bills to pay. So, you know, I'm going to work and earn as much money as I can. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy my job. I very much enjoy it. That's why I share it with everyone, and I've always got quite a nice sort of mentality about it. I love driving. I wouldn't do anything else. But I still wouldn't do it for free. You know, if I had the money to, I wouldn't work at all, or do a lot less hours a week. It's a job. It's there for me to earn money so I can have nice things. That's pretty much it. I go to work to buy shit I don't need. That's it. It's the more I work, the more crap I can buy that I don't need. That's ultimately what it boils down to. But like I said, don't get me wrong. I love my job. I find it very rewarding, like you do. It's not about chasing pounds. I earn what I earn. I mean, I could just drag my heels all day and do even more hours and then just run my hours to the max every day, but I'm not about that. I will do what work I'm given to do, but I will try and push myself as far as I can through the week, because it makes no difference to me. If I'm not coming home, then I'll do as many hours as I can. I got a car I like to spend money on. I got everything, so the more money I make, the more, or the sooner I can buy things for that, so yeah. But, yeah, it's... the mentality of it is, I'm a hard worker. I like to work hard. I'm not going to sit there and do the least amount of work possible, because that doesn't work for me. And it doesn't work for my boss, but each to their own, isn't it? And I'm not going to stop doing it. It's a job I'm going to be doing as far as I'm concerned, as long as I can. Because, like I said, I enjoy it. I find it fun. It's rewarding. Different challenges. And I couldn't sit in an office. So it's a job that really suits me down to the ground. But, like I said, ultimately, it is to earn money. That's what a job is. If I didn't need the money, I wouldn't work. So as simple as that. Yeah, I could go around in circles here. I really could. Yeah, it doesn't mean I don't like the job. It doesn't mean I'm doing it just for the money. You know, I've worked myself up to a stage where I'm at a job I do like doing. You know, I like driving. I thoroughly enjoy driving. I could drive all day long. It doesn't bother me, and that's why I like doing it. But yeah, that's as simple as that. It really is. But yeah, everyone's got different opinions about these things. I could probably go get a job in an office and earn double what I'm doing now. I've got my mate Matt earns a hell of a lot more than what I do. You know, I got friends that do 37 hours a week that earn the same money I do and work in an office. That's fine if that's what they want to do. I don't want to do that. I want to drive trucks. So yeah, it was a fun little comment. So thanks for that. It was yeah. Everyone's got a different opinion on these things, and or just a slight different. Yeah, don't take what I've said out of context. I do enjoy my job. I enjoy what I do. I wouldn't do anything else. Anyway, I think I've gone around that enough times. Not really much more I can say on that. Anyway, that's that one done. So that was debrief. Yeah, again, if you want to ask Elaine any questions for next week's debrief, ask away, and then I'll get her in and I'll record a little video with her. Next week's video, or tomorrow's video technically, which would be Monday, is... Oh yeah, I'm doing straw. So I haven't done straw for a little bit, so check that out. Everyone loves a good straw video. So yeah, I'm going to proceed to book my MOT again this week at some point, and then I'll see you in next week's debrief. So take it easy, look after yourself, drive safely. Thanks for trucking around with Jono, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbyes!